forward to our program today with Rashad McCurry. And he's in Ghana, West Africa. He's coming to us from Ghana, West Africa. Has a very interesting story that he wants to tell. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're just going to get into it. He's actually in a cab on his way from the airport back to his house. Tell us about what's going on, Brother Rashad. Give us a little background, how you got to Ghana, what's been happening since you were in Ghana, and why you decided to stay in Ghana.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you having me back on the show. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everybody's assistance and supporting me on this story. I'm, as you mentioned, I'm actually in a taxi right now on my way back to the house. I was coming from immigration,
Oh,
extending like my passport as I work on getting my residency permitted things. And sometimes, or most of the times in Ghana, the paperwork gets very bureaucratic. They called me in last night to say, come pick up your passport. And I was there for about 3 hours and they said, oh, come back tomorrow. And I got nothing done. So that's one of the things where it's like being in Ghana. Um, to answer your question, how I first got here, I was actually on a tour with my travel company, Africa Cross Culture. So we brought 4 Americans from the United States, obviously, to Ghana for 6 March festivities. 6 March is Ghana's Independence Day. While we were on the trip, while we were on the trip, the coronavirus pandemic had started in the United States. So once we started hearing the news about border closings, and President Donald Trump at the time said level 4 travel ban, either come home immediately or risk staying abroad indefinitely. I decided to stay in Ghana indefinitely. My father had passed away August 2019. I prayed to him. I called my mother and I talked to several of my Ghanaian connections. And unanimously, we decided that I had the experience, the finances, and the life skills to make a successful repatriation to Ghana. Now, admittedly, at the time, the plan was just to kind of wait out this coronavirus thing. So, and obviously, I never came back. I think that's part of what immigration is still trying to figure out. Because again, I had to go back and get my passport to extend my visa again. But it's always like, hey, you came here for a short stay and you never left. So I'm a little delayed on it, but I am working on my residency permit instead of just extending my visa over and over again. But that's pretty much the story of how I got to Ghana. Um, when I advise people on how to repatriate and how to move to Ghana, I tell people kind of do the opposite of what I've done. I say, plan your transition out strategically, save your money beforehand, build online incomes, or make sure if you have a pension or social security or whatever you have, to make sure it's sufficient enough to allow you to make a successful transition. And finally, before I give it back to you, I'm actually about to publish my second book titled The 10 Repatriation Commandments. The 10 Repatriation Commandments, tips and strategies for African Americans repatriating to Africa, where I give more tips and strategies to make a successful repatriation.
okay, Brother Rashad. Tell us a little bit about your experience in Ghana. And, I wish I had put some shared screen film of Ghana because I spent a lot of time in Ghana myself. Love the place. Give us a little bit about your
Yeah.
insight and how you see the place, how the people, how they treat you, and what's the difference in our culture here in America and there in Ghana. I know you feel different. I felt different. So tell us, give us a little of the overview of your experience there in Ghana.
Great. Also, I'm approaching this vortex I tell you about, where the reception might just drop for a minute and come back in. So if I drop or pause, I'll be right back. It's only a split second if it does happen. There's many cultural differences. I talk about it a lot on my YouTube page. You can follow me on YouTube, 2 Black 2 Strong 123, TOO Black TOO Strong 123, 2 Black 2 Strong 123. And there's certain things that in America that we see as ghetto that in Ghana is a natural part of living, or what we may call ancestral worship. So things like pouring libations, even the most Holy Ghost chasing Christian, they still believe in pouring libations. Whereas in America, people still like to consider pouring a 40 out for the homie, something old school like that. Pouring libations is something that's regularly practiced in ancestral worship, even amongst Christian and Muslims. Another thing, such as hairstyles. It's a lot of hairstyles here. Like you may see somebody looking like the old school rapper Coolio around here, and that's just a normal hairstyle. Like the women call one of the hairstyles a dunko. Hold on, give me a second. Make a right here at this junction. Nifa. Yo, yeah. Nifa, then go down to the end. Yeah. So I'm pulling up to my road to get to my house. So no, straight to the end. Yeah, the story building. So when we're in America, things on the other side, such as public urination, there's not a lot of portable bathrooms or urinals or places for people to relieve themselves. So you can just be walking down the road or walking down the street and somebody could just start using the bathroom in front of you, male or female. Whereas American, I'm still shocked by it, but in general, in terms of Ghanaians, it's regular and it's not offensive, because it's not like America where we always have a whole bunch of stores, a whole bunch of hotels, restaurants around, and if somebody has to use the bathroom, right here. If somebody has to use the bathroom, they could just find a place to use the bathroom. So here you actually see pretty regularly. Yeah, right here. Let me see what. Using the left hand. Using the left hand here is still signified as something, because the left hand here is used for like dirty things, such as like, when you clean yourself in the bathroom. Oh yeah, please, yeah. When you clean yourself in the bathroom, you're not supposed to write with your left hand. You're not supposed to greet with your left hand. You're not supposed to hand people things with your left hand. If you're making something at the market, such as like you go to the market and you want to get like, how do I say it? And you want to get like fruits and vegetables, they can't pass you anything with the left hand. Whereas in America, if I want to wave to you with my left hand, nobody thinks nothing of it. I know a lot of times we say pardon the left as far as our slang, but generally speaking, those are some of the differences. Another main difference that I speak a lot about is just like here, I call it all black everything. And let's see if I can do this for y'all. Let me see if I can turn my camera around so people can kind of see close to where I'm living. I don't know how to flip the camera over, sorry. I'm by my house. So this is where my land is. I'm about to show y'all my house behind me. Actually, I'm renting. This is a 2-story apartment building, a 2-story house. So people do have nice, beautiful houses. I'm gonna stay out here. I call it all black everything. Again, this is my house in the background. I live on the 2nd floor. 4-bedroom.
You're froze. Darrell, can you unfreeze him? We're trying to
frozen?
We're trying to unfreeze you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I do want people to see, if you can turn your phone around where they can see the area where you are. So we're trying to unfreeze you. Wait on us, brothers and sisters. The one thing I will say is that people do number one. That's mean that they pee, but they don't do number two in front of you. Okay, this is where you are. You're back. Rashad.
Okay, great. Yeah, they're doing a lot of building. So I actually watch. So this is where I stay right here. actually been watching this house be built from weeds. At first, when I first moved here, it was like this, and now they actually built this house up this much. So it's really nice. Again, like I said, this is my house right here. They're doing a lot of building, a lot of construction. So we're just going to take a walk around my area while I speak, if you don't mind.
No, please do.
Yeah, just so people. So I live in a small town called Elmina. It's maybe about, when I first got into the taxi, I was in Cape Coast, which was the former capital of Ghana. Cape Coast and Elmina are Black American hubs because these are homes of the slave dungeons. So Elmina slave dungeon with the door no return, and Cape Coast slave dungeon, the door no return. Here we don't call them castles, we call them dungeons. Historically, they still say Elmina Castle, Cape Coast slave castle. I want to show y'all this. These are two others that are being built. These are two other houses that are being built with just grassy areas like this. So actively building. A lot of times people want to think of Africa, think of Ghana, and they want to just think of huts and teepees, you know, stereotypes that we get back from European exploration and cartoons from the 70s and 60s and 40s and 50s. But people are still building. These houses are nice, comfortable, beautiful. So where I stay is in Cape Coast, maybe about 3 hours from Accra. So if you were in Accra and you wanted to come to my area, you're about 3 hours away, which is different for me because I'm from New York City. This is the first time in my life I'm living in a suburban, quiet place like this. I'm from Harlem. I'm from Harlem, New York. Foundational Black American. Born and raised in Harlem. My Carolina, they met in New York. But my parents are from South Carolina. My grandparents are from South Carolina. My great-grandparents are from South Carolina. As far as we can trace back, we're from the South. So I'm foundational Black American. Going back to what I was speaking about, all Black everything. I love the fact that everywhere I go, I'm around, I see Black billboards. Every time I turn on the television, I see Black faces, Black newscasters, Black artists, Black politicians. Every time I watch a movie and the closing credits come down, they're all African names. In America, especially New York City, a sanctuary city, gentrification, when I step out the house, it's the Chinese stores are owned by the Asians. The Chinese are owning the laundromats. The Indians are owning the 99-cent store. I was looking at Dollar Tree stock. I think about the Indians, all the 99-cent stores. The Europeans own the supermarkets. The Latinos have all the jobs when they start looking for bilingual speakers. But here, everybody who owns is African or of African descent. Lebanese are here a lot, so you do see a lot of Lebanese here. But they own stuff mostly in these shopping malls. Like if you go to Accra Mall, or if you go to any residential shopping center where it's like, a shopping mall or a market or something like that, you may see the Lebanese. It just rained here a few days ago, so it's muddy. But this is all farming land. This is all agricultural land. And I appreciate the fact that you get to see what Black people can do on their own, and also sometimes what we can do long term without European negative interference. Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's so much water. It rained here a few days ago. Some of the other differences, like being in America, you start to appreciate infrastructure. You start to appreciate the infrastructure. You start to appreciate the internet more. I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2", 230 pounds. Ghana is a small man's country, so I have a hard time finding shoes my size. And then I do also appreciate the affordability of tailor-made clothes. Hello, are you speaking?
Yeah, no, I'm listening at you.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure. You start to appreciate the like I said, the infrastructure. You start to appreciate internet access. Like even with my internet access in the home, they're telling me like, hey, we got the top of the line, 15 gigs a second for this amount of money. And I say, oh, let me just find out what I was doing in America. Well, with my free cable, my free internet in America, with my cable plan, I was getting 60 gigs a second. But here they're pushing, in my area, they're pushing 15 gigs, at state of the art. So it's certain things that you learn to appreciate in America, but also when you start being in Ghana and you start to realize after some time, you wake up every day. If you're a black man, you're just a man. If you're a black woman, you're just a woman. You're not dealing with systematic oppression and racism and redlining and environmental injustice and education reform, the prison industrial complex. You're not dealing with all these traps and these plots and schemes against you. You're just waking up every day as a man, as a woman. And then the issue that you do start to see is actually classism. You actually start seeing where classism is a huge problem in Ghana. Sorry, not sorry. But then what you then start to understand is that you're the one in the higher class because you have access to your American dollar. So, so I call those good problems. How are you? Yeah. Hey, what's up, guy? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it rained here, and actually, my road, the one I drove down, is actually a better road to walk in the rain. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I could get to some other places while we talk. So, it's actually a good and wonderful experience. I love it here. I'm happy. When you're living in a place going on 2 years now, February 26th is when I arrived. Actually, February 27th is when I arrived in Ghana. I first started my trip in Cote d'Ivoire. I spent the day in Cote d'Ivoire on the 26th. When you're approaching 2 years, obviously you're going to have some good days, some bad days, or even some bad seasons. Obviously people are going to try you. I always tell people to make sure their boundaries are set. And the book that I spoke of before, the 10 expat commandments, the 10 repatriation commandments, there are 10 tips and strategies for African Americans looking to move to Ghana. And some of the strategies that I discuss is learn how to say no. A lot of times we come to Africa, I'm going to say generally speaking, and we have a savior complex. We want to come save the community. We want to save a family. We want to save the individuals. When we start seeing the poverty that is here and the troubles that are going here, it's easy for us to want to help people, want to save everybody. But then, hey, good afternoon. But, we have to make sure we're safe first. A lot of people move here, and within the first 2 weeks, people are breaking into their house because they get welcome home together, but they forget to do simple things such as even put in window guards for their homes. They're not even putting window guards into their doors. They're not even locking their doors. Sorry, guys. I'm taking y'all to a place that I believe you're familiar with. One Africa Health Resort, which is like a 2-minute walk from me.
Oh yeah, I know them very very well. Nana One Africa was chief of that village. He
Yeah.
was a good friend of mine. In fact,
I
we
live
used
about 2 minutes from One Africa. No, sorry, I'm not coming. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the taxi thought I was coming for him. Yeah, so I'm on my way to One Africa. I'll be to One Africa in about 3 to 5 minutes. I can keep talking, but if you have any questions, just let me know. Please interrupt me.
no,
So, yeah.
what I was going to ask you is that Ghana has a very deep love affair with African Americans. At least that was my experience when I was there. Of course, things have changed. There was, if you had one murder a year, that was something extraordinary. Um, People didn't kill each other. There was a lot of trust, a lot of friendship. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. But I'm looking going back, 30, 40 years when I was in Ghana. And I know that as more, they've taken on more of the European ways in terms of trust and in terms of communalism, the living, so forth. But in terms of Ghana's independence, you can see the evidence of the impact that Marcus Garvey and African Americans made on Ghana in particular, because their first president, Kwame Nkrumah, got his education here in America, and he invited a lot of Americans to become a part of the government in when Ghana got its independence. So, is that love affair still going on between African Americans and Guyanese? Are they still opening their arms? What kind of relationship in terms of I won't say friendship because you got to go beyond that. This is also business, and you can't
Yeah,
go to Africa with just a
yeah.
romantic concept. You have to realize that this too is business. You got to set up an economy. You got to fit into an economy. You got to make the adjustments in terms of culture and so forth. So
Hello.
it's not just a simple process. So tell us about that, especially the Independence Day. They're still having Independence Day, and African Americans used to be the special gift, a guest for Independence Day, and I used to love to be there. What has been your experience with this relationship between African Americans and Guyanese?
Yeah, Ghanaian, Ghanaians. I love Ghanaians because it is a cool country. Um, two points I want to touch on. One is that Ghana was recently named the second safest country in Africa. I'm here at One Africa Health Resort now.
Yeah, I
Walking in.
remember this. I know this place
Um,
very well. I stayed there.
Ghana has been named the second safest country. Have been named the second safest country in Africa behind Botswana.
I lost your sound. Hello? Yes, Rashid? Okay, stick with us, brothers and sisters. We will be able to pick it up. Remember, we're
Yeah,
coming to you
I'm
live.
with transatlantic. Can I show you on the camera? Can I show you on
Yeah, that's me on the camera.
camera? Hey, this is Nana Shabazz down a little bit.
Oh, look, is Mama One Africa there?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Y'all heard me the whole time?
No,
Nana,
no.
please. Yeah. The reception came back. I'm not. You probably, if you stayed here, you probably know Nana Shabazz. I'm talking to
I don't
Dr.
know none of
Clemson Brown.
that.
Yeah, Transatlantic
Yeah,
Production.
yeah. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Transatlantic Production. Welcome, bro. Aquabo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
smiling. You can't see. You can't see because you're here with me.
It's
But
all good, bro.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
One Africa.
Yeah.
How
One
long you
Africa is
been
the
there
place
now?
that I actually the place where I first stayed when I got to this region. I stayed in a chalet, the one actually in the background right here. I stayed here for about 3 months before I found my apartment. This one right way back in the back. I stayed here for about 3 months, and it was these people here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm by the
Um,
ocean.
right.
Yeah.
I wish
If
you
I
could.
need to go back out, I'll go back out. Yeah. All right. The reception is going, so let me find good reception. Yeah. You know I came here to see you too. Yeah. Dr. Brown, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Are you seeing me?
Well, I see one of the chalets. I don't see you.
Well, not me. Okay. Don't worry. That's on purpose. Don't worry. So this is actually where I stayed for the first 3 months when I was in this region before I found this apartment. So this is actually the Atlantic Ocean that you're seeing now. And these are the waters that our ancestors who actually jumped ship, instead of going to the Americas, they jumped ship to come here rather than being sent to the Americas in the transatlantic slave trade. I'm not sure if I can zoom in properly. I don't know if y'all get to zoom in the way I get to zoom in. But in the background you'll see Elmina's slave dungeon. Is it zooming in?
No.
Okay. The direction of the camera is in Elmina Slave Dungeon. I can see it clear as day. But
Yeah,
Elmina
well,
Slave Dungeon, the home of the
we can
door no return.
we can see the rise in the background. Turn a little bit to your right. Go a little bit to your right. That rise that people see, which looks like little mountains and so forth back that well, that's where
Yeah.
Elmina Slave Dungeon is. This is where I used to stay as well, so I'm familiar with the area, brother man. Uh,
Okay, great.
I loved it.
Great. And One Africa, I always endorse them because they made me feel such at home that I just found my place 5 minutes from One Africa. Because sometimes, even as lone travelers like myself or people who like to travel alone, it's not good to isolate yourself. And also in my book, The 10 Repatriation Commandments, I do talk about how Black Americans, we have issues with each other out here. A lot of times when you're abroad, you may meet another American. It's like, great, I met another American. But we got to understand us as Americans, African Americans, Black Americans, whatever you want, whatever, your terminology, we come with our own baggage. You know,
Right.
the first commandment that I speak is, you know, um, wherever you go, there you are. Like Jay-Z said in one of his old rhymes, no matter where you go, you are who you are player. And a lot of us think that we move to Africa, the sky is going to open up, the ground is going to shake, and we're going to be automatically transformed into a new person. No, it's a process. It's a process. So for a lot of people, I would say, like, if you know you have issues with your temper in America, start working on your temper and your and these issues now, because if not, when you come to Africa, you're still gonna have a temper. You know, maybe it may be somebody trying to scam you out of money. Maybe a woman or a guy break your heart, and that's where the temper comes out. Your temper is not going to automatically go away. A lot of people like to have this idea that all transformations will be instant. We all going to have spiritual instant transformations in one area or another. Wow, this is just a huge, beautiful crab. I wish I could zoom in properly so y'all can see everything that I'm seeing. I also have a new appreciation for the human eyes. We're so fantasized by new phones, iPhone 13s, and technology that we don't understand our eyes. As long as we have healthy eyes, we can see things that these cameras can't see. you know?
Go to your right. Let's see that beach up there more. The beach
Okay.
itself, the palm trees and so forth.
Yes. So
And
also when I first came, this cedar fence wall was just built maybe within the last year. So there's Maple Table, home of a lot of Black Israelites. So if you're a Black Israelite, this is where most of the Black Israelites stay. This property right here, I heard this was sold a few years ago, maybe like 5-10 years ago for 400,000 American, which I think is an amazing deal. I think they shortchanged themselves. This is going back over to the property of One Africa. And then along this whole coast, I'm zooming in and out, but I don't think y'all can see me zooming in and out. Going along the coast right here is just like a parade of different restaurants and beachside pubs and lounges and clubs. Think Myrtle Beach, think Miami. This is definitely an upcoming place to live, especially for the future. A wonderful college campus is here. A lot of this stuff is, very beautiful. The book that was promoted on the flyer is my book Stuck in Africa. It's a fictional story based on a real life story. Um, it's based on my real life story, like I explained at the beginning of this live when I talked about me being here with some Americans on the trip, and then the coronavirus pandemic broke out. But then the story transitions into my life, and the things that I've been doing here in this Cape Coast region throughout the duration of the pandemic. And the reason that the book was built that way instead of like a memoir was because originally it was supposed to be a movie that we was putting together. So it was a movie script. So the book is presented as a screenplay. And it just talks about the different relationships that you get in with locals and other Americans here, the cultural differences on how Black Americans and how Ghanaians can actually coexist. Yes, sorry. And to get to your question about the love affair, the infatuation between Ghanaians and Americans, it is primarily business based. I did an interview with CNN, and I also did an article with the USA Today, and it highlights how the year of return and everything that moves, in addition to the year of return, is economic based. Just like in America, we talk about the power of the black dollar. Due to
Rashid,
yeah, Rashad, yeah.
try to go more up to your right where you can see some of the houses and things, as opposed to just the beach. See, you was talking
Okay.
about. Okay, go ahead. Finish
No
talking.
problem.
But try to keep us so we can see what you're talking about in terms of the beauty and living
Okay.
near the beach and everything.
Oh, I understand, Dr. Brown. I'm a water person, so I always go to the water. I love rivers, I love lakes, I love oceans. So that's just me being me. And that's another beautiful thing about Ghana too. When I first started staying in Ghana before I came here to Central Region, I stayed in Aburi Botanical Gardens, which is in the Akwa Mountains. So I was staying in the mountains inside of a beautiful botanical gardens far away from the water. So some places, and when you see things like this is undeveloped land. This is land that's being developed. And if you've been watching closely throughout the duration of this live, you see a lot of infrastructure being built. So this is developmental land. This is where the country is still being developed. So that's also a wonderful experience. And I'm gonna make a turn so I can go into more residence so where people can see houses and roads, more land being built, things that are already completed. It's what's going on out here is wonderful, and you can find these different places all over the country. Ghana is about the size of Oregon. And as far as I have a tourism company, Africa Cross Culture, you can always come visit Africa or Ghana with my tourism company also. We do Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Uganda. So CNN highlights, people are courting the Black American dollar. And Ghana is the first country to invest hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars into courting the Black American dollar. We talk about group economics, and we talk about the power of the black dollar. Ghana is one of the first countries openly, especially within the African continent, to be courting the black dollar.
What do you mean?
This relationship.
What do you mean courting the black dollar? Courting the black dollar.
Courting.
Like a love affair.
Like inviting Black Americans. It's not welcome home, brother and sister. We're going to give you free land. We're going to give you free housing. Like I said in the USA Today article, Ghana is not offering free land and free resources to Black Americans. You may have individual chiefs who may be offering free land that they have, but it's not a government-wide, country-wide project. It's individual chiefs and individual regions and districts who are offering their land. And again, they want you to come to the land and develop the land, because when you buy land here in Ghana, the lease is only 50 years. And if you have a driver's license, the lease is only 99 years. It's not your land forever. Now, you could develop good relationships, and your kids could develop good relationships, and you could renew the lease for another 50 years, another 99 years. But a lot of rules, laws, and regulations that hinder us as Black Americans, they were actually implemented to stop European colonization. So they were implemented to stop European colonization, but technically we're still Americans. We talk this, go back home to Africa. I'm African by root and things of that nature. These porch dogs, I'm surprised they're not barking at me. We talk this going back to Africa, but at the end of the day, we're still American. And that's for our benefit also, because we have access to the American dollar. So when people say down with Babylon and they hope America collapse and crumble, I mean, that American dollar is your biggest leverage here. So just kind of be careful what you wish for. So it is an economic. People here, they fantasize about meeting a foreigner who's going to, give them generational wealth. So when they trying to meet a Black American online, whether it's a guy or a girl, they can find a way for you to give them $200, $500 a month. 80% of the country is not making 500. 90% of the country is not making $500 a month. So if they find somebody who could give them $500 a month, get them to invest on some idea that they don't even believe in, they just want the money. So I tell people all the time, when you meet somebody here on the ground or you meet somebody when you're still in America, make sure that your initial investment is not their deal. I said, make sure you're not the business. So if somebody say, I need $1,000 American dollars or 5,000 American dollars to start this business right, make sure that 1,000 American dollars or that 5,000 American dollars is not the end game for them. You know, a lot of people, I see them come and go. I see them come with tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of American dollars willing to invest, and they have $100,000 to invest. But once they see that they got scammed out of their first 30, they taking their losses and going home. I see people get into bad business deals with other Black Americans. Again, be mindful that just because somebody's American like you, they struggling here too. It's a myth amongst Ghanaians that every Black American is rich. A lot of Black Americans are coming, you know, respectfully, because they feel they can't cut it in America. So that's why they're coming to they coming to Africa to hide, respectfully. They coming to Africa to hide. So they're coming here thinking they could just go off the grid. Beautiful job. This is actually one of my, you know, close friends' land and stuff, and they doing wonderful things. You know, come with a plan, come prepared, and come with your mind right. That's why I'm pushing my book, The 10 Repatriation Commandments, because to me, it's a darker book. A lot of books, they want to talk about a lot of books and a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of media presentations. They want to talk about everything like, I'm going to call you. Yeah, they want to talk about everything like everything is beautiful here. But I can tell you, as somebody who's been on CNN, ABC World News, Forbes Magazine, World Star Hip Hop, second time on Transatlantic Productions, a lot of times, a lot of these media outlets, they erase anything negative you say. I've done interviews where I've talked about my negative experiences and they scrapped the whole project because I wasn't talking about the beauty of Ghana and how wonderful it is. I was talking about me fighting with scammers, or me going through a frustration time, just expressing what I'm going through, and it was in a negative manner. You know, as a YouTuber, you having a successful YouTube channel, it's about the algorithm. So people only type in what they're looking for. But what do they want to do when they don't know what to look for? That's what my YouTube page, Rashard McCrory, 2 Black, 2 Strong, 1, 2, 3. I talk a lot about the negative things that go on here because a lot of people are coming out here with this kumbaya utopian mindset, and then they're hit hard when they get scammed for the first time, when they get lied to for the first time, when they realize they be getting overcharged by the person that's smiling in their face, and then you get the 1, 2, or 3 viral horror stories, and they go viral, but you don't know about how many people came home back to America licking their wounds.
Thank you, and that's true. I tend to, remember the good times that I had when I was there and the friends and so forth. But all that you say is true, and in spite of it, I still loved it and would choose Africa over America, simply because I felt free there. I was never afraid of the police. In fact, in the village I stayed in several villages, they didn't have police stations and police. I mean, the community, for the most part, policed itself. So families police themselves a lot. I don't know how it is now. I don't know if crime has escalated. All the things that you were saying about scamming and everything. Yeah, that's the real problem, and we have to be aware of that and not romanticize Africa. But in spite of all that, it's a place where we can grow and build. And I don't know what's coming down in America, but we need to begin to build a relationship where Black people can get out of here. And that's going to be political dynamics of us leaving. America and going to Africa. But we got to start building
Mhm.
that, working on
Yeah.
that move
Uh,
and that transition in the event that that's what we want to do. Uh, and business can be developed in Africa between Africans,
yeah.
African American. There are a lot of places that we could do that, but you almost need someone to be there with your interests to
Hmm.
look into whatever you are investing in and make sure
Hmm.
that it is both uh, um, has government regulations are being met, and that your interest is being taken care of, so that whatever business you are getting into is a legitimate, bona fide uh, business, and it can grow. It can happen, but it's like
Hmm.
everything else. You can't go anywhere with blindfolders on. We need to be able to invest
Yeah.
deeply everything, and you need somebody that represents you that we can trust as a group
Yeah.
making these kinds. So talk to us about what we need in order to make sure that our investments are safe.
In my book, the 10 Repatriation Commandments, commandment number 3 is always see for yourself. Um, it's easy to find someone online, whether it's a Black American online or a Ghanaian that you've been referred to or met online, and they can send you pictures and they can answer your questions properly. But it's always better to see for yourself, attempt to make relationships for yourself, and think of it as a long-term process and not a quick, I'm gonna hop on a plane and everything's gonna be set up for me. We do need, and we have organizations that are set up to help people um, make these right decisions. However, what I'm learning with a lot of these organizations is that they're Black Americans trying to make a dollar too. All right, how are you? They're Americans trying to make a dollar too. So we need a ethical board or guideline and a way to hold people accountable in the states that say, hey, um, you're going to be held accountable in America to make sure that your people are not scamming people on the continent. So I think the more we find people who are already financially secure, and I'm talking about like multi-millionaires, I'm thinking to myself, 8, 9 figures in, who want to invest in a continent that makes sure that people on the ground who are looking to repatriate are actually finding the best options. Because a lot of times what I see here
Well,
are
like that.
people who have the right heart and mind, but they don't have the financial security in their own life. And I'm talking about real financial security. I'm not talking about $2,000, $3,000 a month coming in from Social Security, and you want to build your business and do this and that because the money is still tempting. I'm talking about real oversight and real overseeing and accountability to say, hey, we want to get these projects together, find the right relationships with the right chiefs, because I've seen people get scammed with relationships with chiefs out here, and the chiefs have a history and have a reputation of scamming people. So we need people out here who are financially secure, who have just the right interest in mind, and the right heart to want to build a cross-cultural, um, what's the word I'm looking for? A cross-cultural relationship where we get the right Black Americans who want to set everything up. We get the right chiefs who money is, the love of money is the root of all evil. But the right chiefs in mind to where they can see the big plan and see the development and thinking 50 and 100 years down the road. They're not going to try to scam you. They're not going to take 15, 30,000 American dollars because they know that's enough to take care of them for their lifetime or for the next 5 years. They want to look into long-term building and long-term generational wealth. So it's about building the right resources with the right people, because there's a lot of organizations here. Unfortunately, from what I know of, this is also part of my village. But also um, people who not struggling to make a dollar too. So you may have somebody who's online, who you may meet, who may be living in Ghana, who may be living in Africa, saying I have housing places, and they're offering people ways to find a house and help them find a house, but they already know that their house is, you know, 10 minutes off the main road, up a hill, down another road with no internet access. But they trying to sell it to you anyway because they need that $10,000 to get them through the year. Um, I teach people how to find housing in terms of like a tip that I always tell people: when you asking about your housing or when you looking for your housing, don't get housing too far off the main road. Because if you want to take taxis, or if you want to take taxis or have regular transportation, you got to make sure that you can get to your house from the road. Make sure before you put down for your lease, make sure you have proper internet access. I have issues with my internet a lot because I'm right off the sea, and I'm not in the major city of Accra. But that's a loss that I consciously chose to take. So it's being able to ask the right questions, taking your time for the process, knowing that you want to visit back and forth. If you want to build land, want to build a house, oversee it directly. Because what I learned that people do here a lot, when you first pay them, they take the money and do whatever they want to do, and then they tell you about some made up problem just to get more money out of you than to finally do what they were supposed to do the first time. Just like in America, people get a business loan and pay off their personal bills with the business loan before they even start doing what they're supposed to do with the business loan, and then wonder why the business is not progressing. So a lot of the issues here, I say Black Americans run into because they leave their basic street smarts behind. So we need courses to teach people, which I'm in the process of doing, but teach people, don't leave your basic street smarts behind. Don't get fooled by the welcome home, Aquaba, welcome home, brother, welcome home, sister, because to you, it's like if you met a celebrity in their prime and you had an opportunity to befriend him, and you've been living in poverty your whole life, but you knowing that LeBron James is forgive me, naive and want to be your friend. Kanye West is naive and want to be your friend, or whoever. The doctor wants to be your friend. This is $1 million surgeon. This is $1 million defense attorney. And he wants to be your friend. Then how long is it going to be before you start asking him for favors, for loans? So come out here with the mindset of it's a much better life. As much as how I'm talking the way I'm talking now, I ain't go back. I ain't leave because I'm happier here. But I would be misleading people if I didn't talk about the issues that you find, the traps that the few viral YouTube videos that come out every once in a while. Hey, nah. Hold on. I'm gonna come see your family later. Yeah. So we have to understand that this is a place of opportunity and a better place, especially health-wise. But we can't leave our smarts behind.
Rashid,
Rashad.
in terms of dual citizenship, what's the status? Now, this is key and very important. Why Africa does not just, work harder to give African Americans dual citizenship, because you have rights as a citizen, you don't have as the right of a board, which is to stay there and open businesses, but you're still not a citizen. Talk to us about that, the status of, and I know One Africa and that group is fighting for dual citizenship. There's a whole group of African Americans, probably I think more than 5,000 families that are pressing the government for dual citizenship, and African Americans here must do the same thing. Talk to us about the status of it.
Yeah. The first thing I like to tell people, that's actually my third book. The title of my third book is going to be The Truth About Dual Citizenship. But the first thing I like for people to understand first about the term dual citizenship is that America does not honor the dual citizenship. If you're a Black American and you get dual citizenship with Ghana, when you're American, you're treated as 100% American, meaning that if you get in some sort of trouble, whether falsely accused or whatever, you'll be held as an American, and they won't say, you're Ghanaian, you don't have any, rights as a dual citizen. So that's just a small caveat that I want people to just understand. First off, many people don't care. They're like, I don't want to go back anyway. But they should just understand that in America, the dual citizenship is not honored. Also, dual citizenship, you're eligible for dual citizenship after 2 years of consecutively living in the country. However, priority is always given to people who have stayed in the country at least 7 years. And that's on a rolling basis. However, there's no timetable or no real structure in terms of who gets called or who is given dual citizenship based on any number of registration. That being said, meaning like you can fill out the paperwork, you can apply, you can meet all the mandates, and you submit your application, and you might not get called back for years. There's no, but then somebody else who may only been there 2 years know the right person, and they can get their dual citizenship within a year. And then some people on the ground, they try to sell that leverage for $30,000, $50,000, because again, like I said earlier, people here are trying to survive too. That's why I say we need oversight and we need structures where people who don't have to worry about money, their money is set. They just doing it to help the people. A lot of people don't understand when you see the viral groups and ceremonies, those people are also inducted based on their relationships with key influencers or gatekeepers in the country. So there's Black Americans who's been living here 20, 30, 40, 50 years who have relationships with the government, and then the government goes to those individuals and say it's probably about 10 to 15 throughout the country. And then the government goes to those people and say, hey, give us a list of 10 to 20 people each who do you want to have dual citizenship, who meet these minimum requirements. And then those individuals are the ones when you hear about 150 Black Americans during the 2019 year return were given dual citizenship. It was probably 10 to 15 Black Americans who's been living here 30, 40, 50 years who have good relationships with the government. And then they gave a list of 10 to 15 people who they like, who have personal relationships with them. And then those people are the ones that's indoctrinated. So the frustration that a lot of people here have is that, yeah, I can go to Accra and register for my dual citizenship, but you might get a call and your stuff just might sit here. Like at the beginning of the live, I told you that they called me yesterday to come get my passport back. I sat there for 3 hours, and then they say, just come back tomorrow with no explanation. I've applied for things like a non-government ID a few years ago. I paid my money, and I never heard from them again. Every time I call, they say, oh, we'll call you back, and I never hear from them again. I went to the doctor, got blood tests done, got my yearly checkup. I never got my results. So Ghana is a country that still lacks organizational structure. It's a lot of bureaucracy, and that's a lot of the issues that comes with dual citizenship. Ghana is a country where here in America, we like to just cut out the middle people. We like to just get straight to the point and get the business done. That's one of the things that I'm hearing positive about Rwanda. They cut the bureaucracy, they get stuff done. But in Ghana, everybody has to have their opinions met. Everybody has to go through a line of structure. And then everybody is just doing their own thing. So let's say I need to talk to you. I need to get something done. I got to talk to the assistant. And then when the assistant finds time in his schedule, he got to talk to the secretary. And when the secretary finds time in their schedule, then they get to someone else. And then when somebody else finds time to get to their to get in their schedule, whether it's personal life, then they get to you. So something that where somebody could have easily said, hey, speak to Dr. Brown about me getting on the show. It got to go through 4 or 5 different people just to even get to Dr. Brown. And then they got to get back through these 4 or 5 different people just to get the answer back to me. And it's really bad here in Ghana. So that's where the frustration with dual citizenship comes from. That the heart is in the right place, but the organizational structure here is not. They still use filing cabinets here for a lot of things. So you go out for citizenship, they throw you in the filing cabinet. Human error, you know. I've been looking into stocks and everything, and they've been talking about how, like in the 80s, people were using the tape. When the tape come out the machine, and then you got to read the tape to know what the stocks are looking like. But now in 2021, we have everything on the computer, even from Cash App to Robinhood to even more complex apps. With Gemini now for Bitcoin, you know, everything is on the computer. We can read it fast. Sometimes when you go through these natural paperwork things, it should be fast. Ghana is still in the 70s and the 80s. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say Ghana's in the 90s. You know, so that's one of the main structures with dual citizenship. Black American own this infrastructure also. This is Kobe's Tavern. So when it comes to Ghana and dual citizenship, first, it's not really meant to give solitude to Black Americans who want to get out of America. Ghana wants Americans who are financially sound and sufficient to invest in the country. Ghana doesn't even have a strong welfare program for their own country. Why would they want thousands of Americans pouring in, respectfully, like refugees, when you look at it from their point of view? No, they want Americans who have money to invest, to bring business opportunities. But the issue that Ghana is running into is that everybody look at as an American when they come here as a meal ticket. They're looking to what they can get out of American. We could come here with sound, strong ideas, and then they'll turn you on to their idea, which is not a sound, strong idea, even when you're dealing with the well-off people here sometimes. So unless you have big money, it's very hard to get into sound, high-end business investments here, because there's nothing holding people accountable if they do you wrong. In America, they could garnish your bank account. They could pull a warrant out for you. They can enforce things in America. Here, if somebody scam you or somebody cheats you, or if your dual citizenship application is sitting for years on end, they just say, I'm sorry. You know, going back to when we talk about Ghana being one of the second safest countries in the world, it's positive and it's negative in my eyes, because here in Ghana, people are steal your money by a phone. They do it to Ghanaians too. They steal money from you, buy a phone with it, and then say sorry and expect to keep the phone. And in Ghana, they get to keep the phone. You know, in America, it's give me my phone back, or give me the phone then, or give me my money back. It's not over until I get my money back. In Ghana, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. They ask for forgiveness, and Ghanaians forgive each other, but at the same time, more than enough people know they can do wrong, and it's no real accountability that's going to be held.
Rashid, final question. Rashad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't.
The pandemic,
Yeah.
the virus, COVID. What is it like there, and what's happening? Is are a lot of people suffering from the pandemic, from the virus? And if so, are they being mandated to take the vaccine? And how do people there feel about the vaccine, taking it?
A lot of people are not in alignment with the vaccination, and COVID has not run rampant in Africa like the Gates and other people predicted. However, it has hurt the economy here, and in some cases there have been COVID outbreaks here. Unfortunately, recently, if you heard of the PanaFest event, the yearly PanaFest event, they had PanaFest here, and then when they had PanaFest here, after people left for PanaFest, it was a COVID outbreak, and allegedly, they believe that a handful of Black Americans caught COVID and passed away. So, especially when you come into the Black American communities, you hear about outbreaks and things of that nature. But overall, it's had more economic impacts than it has actual fear and fright. I know early last year there was a sense of xenophobia for all foreigners from the West, even Black Americans included. I remember I wrote an article about that. You can find it on my Modern Ghana website, where anybody who wasn't Ghanaian was believed to be a carrier of the virus. From now, I see that xenophobia season is over. People are still having financial struggles, especially in the tourism board. People are anti-vaccination, and anytime I hear about the government talking about vaccination, it's still a split because you have some people who believe everything the West says, and you have people that believe nothing the West says, no matter what. So it's similar in America when it comes to like pro-vax against vax. I know a lot of people in the hospital sector, whether it's doctors or nurses, and they encourage people to take the vaccination if it's eligible. So for now, it's only eligible for government personnel, government official, or the financially wealthy. So my experience here in Ghana, I like it being here because I feel like I still haven't really lived in a COVID world. You know, I heard the news about all government workers in New York being fired if they don't take the vaccination. I don't see that happening here. I can see it happening in the sector. If things continue on this route, especially maybe the healthcare sector, but I couldn't see it being a countrywide implementation.
Thank you, Rashad. It's been a pleasure. You've really given us a great insight into African Americans and their love affair with Africa. I thank you for it. We look forward to being with you again in the very near future.
I'll be honest.
Oh, by the way, all the brothers and sisters who are watching, look, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Transatlantic Productions, and hit the like bell, hit the bell so we can keep you informed. We're going to be bringing you live broadcasts from the African world all over. So help us by subscribing, telling your friends to subscribe, and watch us. Hey, have a good one. Thank you again, Rashad. Rashad, how do people get in contact with you?
Okay, you can sorry about that. Yeah. You can find me on hold on, I'm coming. Please just give me a second. I want to come back to the front camera. All right, it's not letting me come back to the front camera. I want to come back to the front camera. I'll be honest. You can find me on Instagram, Rashad_McCrory. A fast way to find me is go to hashtag 2Black2Strong, TOO Black, TOO Strong. Rashad_McCrory. I am verified on Instagram, so just find me with my blue check mark. You can go to my website, GH Cross Culture, the letter G, the letter H, Cross Culture, GH Cross Culture, to find out more about my trip to Ghana. Check out my book on Amazon, Stuck in Africa, based on a true story. My next book, The 10 Repatriation Commandments, is on pre-order live on Amazon for October 8th. So the book is being released October 8th, The 10 Repatriation Commandments, which I spoke a lot about. And you can also find me on YouTube, 2Black2Strong 123, TOO Black, TOO Strong 123.
Again, thank you. And we want to say good day. Power to all people, especially Black folk. Power.
Yeah.
Again,
Back, right? yeah,
thank you, man.
Definitely.
And I send my regards to all the brothers and sisters back in Elmina, and especially One Africa. Maybe you can go see Sister One Africa and set up a YouTube. We'd like to interview her as well. So maybe you can set that up while you're there.
I'll set that up for you now. I'll set that up for you today. I'm heading back that way now.
All right. Looking forward. Give us.
Take care, everybody. Stay blessed, stay happy, stay safe, and just follow your dreams, man. You know, those dream of great accomplishments, and others stay awake and accomplish them.